Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to TSRC here for the third round of the TSRC Sports Car Challenge. And today we're at the circuit of Watkins, Glen, also known as the Glen, one of the most iconic circuits here in the United States of America. It's our second of 3 trips to the USA. We had our first trip at Sebring, then we got the second one here at Watkins, Glen, and then the third trip to America is at Road America at round 5. And now it doesn't feel like it biggles that, but the half point of the season already, does it?
Oh, no, it does not at all. Welcome, everybody. Yep, it's going to go pretty quickly, of course, in the Glen, upstate New York is going to definitely give you an indication of how the driver's going to be able to tackle those walls and tackle this very difficult track to, for one, keep your car on the track, and for two, overtaking as well is not necessarily the easiest, but we do have the multi-classes as well, too. So just apart from that, those drivers that we've seen in the past, aren't they, in the different classes, are going to have to somehow find their way around, especially the GT cars and so forth. So the practice session is about to finish, and we're about to get it into our qualifying session.
Yeah, this track, it's one of those I haven't really commented on much before, but I've seen a lot of it on YouTube with some of the endurance races, and it is a track that can be quite tricky, and as you can see now on your screens, we have begun the qualifying session. So a bit of a rundown on the standings from last round. So obviously we had the 2 rounds, and most of the drivers that attended both rounds have got their drop results. That's why you don't see drivers on 80 points by now. They're still hovering around that 30-40 point mark. So the leaders in the LMP3 class is Bash Shilstra, who unfortunately is not meant to be here today. So that's unfortunate for him, considering he's leading the standings, drawn on points with Gergely Kunshabo in second. He's also on 40, of course. And then in third we have Josh Millington, who took second last race out at Fuji, followed by Patrick Denny in fourth. Then we've got Maurice Piccolo in fifth. Ethan Orink, who made his debut race last week, he's 16th. Thomas Martin seventh. Nick Clibbons, who took pole in the first round, was looking to be a championship contender. He's sitting down in 8th on 29 points, and all the drivers below that have scored 0 points this season. Then for the GT4 category, there's a lot more, so we're not going to talk through every single driver there, because there's about 20 drivers on that standings list. But leading that championship as well, drawn on points with 40, is Tom Davidson with Jack Southfield. They both took a victory. It was Tom who won in round 2, and it was Jack who won in round 1. Then Kieran Sharp finished third in the first round, second in the second round, and unfortunately he took that drop result, so he doesn't get the 2 podiums classified. He only gets that 1 P2, which puts him on 36 points, ahead of Nils Core, who's also on 36. Then we go to Ryan Walker on 32, Gilliam Hamling on 30, then we have John Higgins on 28, Andrew Park on 28, we have Bobby Moss on 26, and then the final round in at the top 10 is Pavel Bogdan, who's also on 26 points. So, Biggle still, in the whole championship, a lot to play for.
Always is a lot to play for, so every single round's going to count as much as possible, and it will at this point. Currently, at the moment, we're looking at Hamling, as Maurice is going to go one of the quickest. Hamling's in that Porsche that you can see. Maurice and Nick Clements. Those timing tables will come up there very soon to get those first laps into Glen. Welcome everybody in the chat there. DQ Dave, good evening all. Let's hope Sharpie doesn't smoke his tires off the straight. He's referring to the boss man, of course, Mr. Sharp here. It's Kieran Sharp. Start his flying lap as well.
So he's heading down in towards, I believe this is the first corner. Unfortunately, my track map hasn't updated properly yet with where the drivers are situated on circuit in this qualifying session, but we are on board, I believe, with Kieran Sharp, who's just heading through this first part of the circuit. It's the first part of the qualifying session as he's heading up towards turns 3 and 4. And this is, of course, the boot layout, which is also known as the long course. But the boot sounds a lot, it sounds a lot of a better name than just the long course. So he's heading down this back straight in towards this next chicane, where he'll shift down to around 2nd or 3rd gear, coast the cut half through, then get back on the power as nice as he can. You can see around this circuit you can use a lot of that curb. Some circuits you can't do so, but a circuit like this, here at Watkins, again, you can use as much curb as you possibly can, so that gives them a great exit. Heading out that chicane, heading around the outer loop into the chute, which is at turn 6. You can see they're just braking late, coast the car to the inside, try and hook it around this long left-hander, and we'll see a lot of battling, I think, through this section of the circuit. Then you come down now in towards toe at turn 7. Yet again, just want to brake a little bit late, coast the car in. Sometimes you can take a bit of a wide line through there to get yourself a better exit as you head down the boots, which is why, because it looks a little bit like a boot at this section of the circuit. Then you'll head down in towards turn 8. As you can see in the LMP3 class, Maurice Pickler sets the fastest time. No, Nick Clibbens sets the fastest time with the 1:40.815. Patrick then slotting himself into 2nd. They're just a second off the time of Nick Clibbens, and I believe Kieran Sharp will be one of the first in the GT4 category to set a time. As you can see, they're just heading through the final few corners. We've got Gurgley Kunshab towards the line. He goes as Hamlin goes quickest there in the GT4 class with a 53.5. Gonzalo goes quickest by 26 thousandths of a second with a 40.788. You can already see, yet again, the top two in the LMP class because very, very close.
Extremely, 26 thousandths of a second was almost give or take, or isn't it, the Brazil results between the two drivers, the Red Bull driver and the Aston Martin, wasn't it, of recent times, yes. But this is not Formula One, of course. This is the TSRC Sports Car Challenge here. In iRacing, the best simulation that there is of racing. I know you come from a Formula One background there, my friend. It's sim racing. Also a little bit more difficult to set up the graphics and things like that in the background. We were speaking about that in the green room, but we have more camera opportunities, and he's going to fly through here. You can see the 23 machine of Kevin on, who has set the 3rd fastest lap, and you'd have to say that's damn close, isn't it? 16 thousandths of a second. Look at that. Somebody's just come in there and smashed it. Nick.
Yeah, it was Nils Core, who I believe got 2nd, didn't he, back in the 1st round at Sebring, and then disappeared for the 2nd round. He's back in yet again, and with a 3/10 pole at the moment to Hamlin, who yet again a driver we haven't really seen at the top. As you can see there, Nick Clibbens getting back that pole position from Corin Chabot with a 19,000th gap between the top two. We're on board now with car 42, which will be Tom Dodson, who's currently sitting P3 in the Mercedes, going a little bit wide there, but I believe you can take a lot of track extension around this circuit, and you can see that even though it's 3/10 to 2nd, behind that it's about a 15 thousandths gap to 2nd and 3rd. Then it's only a little bit further back, about half a tenth back to Kieran Sharp, who's in 4th. He's had a very consistent season, finished 3rd in the 1st round, 2nd in the 2nd round, and he's here at the moment looking to possibly try and get himself on the podium yet again, because he's only about a tenth off of 2nd place. As you can see, Tom Dowson with the purple for 2nd sector. the fifth sector, see what time he sets. The improve, yes, he does, and he goes second. 87,000, just shy of a tenth away from Nils Court. As we head down in towards turn one, this is back with, I believe, Kieran Sharp, who's heading through. We've got quite a lot of screen time with him so far in this session. He's currently sitting now in P5, as that's Jack Southfield, round one winner, popping himself 1,000th behind Tom Dawson. The two victors looking to sit second and third so far for the GT4 category. And surprisingly, still not seen many times set in the LMP3 category.
Yeah, no, they're not actually at the moment. We're looking at Mr. Gills in the Mercedes. Nick Clemens looks like he might be improving a little bit. There's Liam Gills, so he's going to put himself up into P7. Clemens looking to go fast as your LMP2 class. We've got one driver actually, believe it or not, and the LMP3, sorry, class yet to set a time at the moment. Probably an invalidation. No, actually, Mr. Millington has not even gone out on track yet at the moment. Tom's going faster through the second sector. So is Mr. Sharp as well, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, lots of improvements being made by lots of different drivers throughout the field. If we can have a little look at Tom Dawson, as he's just coming through the exit of the third sector now, and he's gone yellow in that third sector. Sometimes that obviously means he was only down by your personal best by 1,000th of a second, so just seeing two yellows, it doesn't mean the lap is all over. He's still got the fourth and fifth sector yet to go around this circuit. You can see, just heading through down towards turns 9 and turn 10 before he hits the penultimate corner at turn 11. You can see now flying down in towards this next left-hander. Very nice so far. Obviously, around this circuit, it's quite flowy. There's a lot of long left and a lot of long right corners, and a lot of less sharp braking zones. So drivers who don't like braking, they're going to be a little bit more comfortable around this circuit. So back up to the line, is it going to be an improvement for Tom Dawson? I don't think it will be as he headed up towards the line, but there could be an improvement for Kieran Sharp as he's gone purple in two sectors, green in other two sectors. He goes fourth there, just popping himself a tenth and a half back from Nils Court, very close to the back of Davidson and Southfield. So yet again, Sharp looking very, very strong. We never see him at the top of the timings, but he's all around that second, third, fourth position.
87 thousandths of a second, 88 thousandths of a second separates second and third from the GT4s. So, well, first, second, and third, actually, if you look at that, it's from Mr. Core. So that's amazing. That is absolutely on the bubble of esports racing.
There's Nick Clibbons, I think, went up to line. I don't know if you've got any improvement on his lap as Liam Giles goes 2/10 back from Nils Court. He pops himself into that top five in the Mercedes. And there was an improvement there from Nick Clibbons. He went purple, I believe, in the fourth sector and put himself a tenth and a half.
It's going to be pole here. It's going to be even more of a stretch here. It's going to be 87 thousandths of a second anymore. As Core's going to cross that line. That should be, look at that, 2/10 quicker than everybody else. What a blistering lap there for the German.
Yep, and if Tom Davidson can go quick, Nils Court can go a lot quicker. So puts himself back to around that 3/10 gap that he had originally at the start of the session. So we've got about a minute left in qualifying, so not many people are going to be setting lap times. I don't think that Southfield, Sharp, Hamling or Walker will set any lap times along with Giles. So it's all down, I think, to Tom Davidson, who unfortunately is yellow in the first three sectors. So I don't know if we'll get much improvement from him at all on this lap. We got Bobby Moss on him on an improvement, Volodya on an improvement in that first sector, Matt Smith on a double improvement in the first and second sector, so still many times to come through. And I think for the LMP3 category, I'm not sure if anyone else is still on track around there, but we're on board now with car number 5, which is Bobby Moss, just heading down in towards that final corner. He'll head up to the line shortly. We'll see if we can get an improvement from him, and if he can pop himself into that top 10. Currently sitting P11 with no time set. Where will he get as he comes across the line? Will it be an improvement for him? It'll be put him 9th with a 1 minute 54.0, and that is the end of qualifying. It's a very quick qualifying, is it, Biggles? And sometimes you kind of get caught off guard of how quick it lasts.
You do only have a few really good hot laps to go. There is your qualifying grid order, if you'd like to go over that, please.
So Nick Clibbons in the LMP3 category is on pole position yet again ahead of Gergely Kunshaba. We've seen those two at the top of the timings a lot this season. We have Maurice Pickler in third, Patrick Den fourth, Thomas Martin sixth, and Josh Millington, who didn't set a lap time, sitting down in sixth. Then for the GT4 category, it's Nils Court on pole, nearly 3/10 ahead of Tom Davidson. Then it's Jack Southfield just behind in third, Kieran Sharp in fourth position, Liam Giles in fifth. We've got Hamling in sixth, Walker seventh, Volodya eighth, Bobby Moss ninth, Cohen Alpert 10th, and then Matt Smith rounding out the grid. Unfortunately, not a very good lap time for him. He was 3 seconds off, so it just seems Matt Smith just didn't get everything together. And I don't think he got that representative lap time in that he would have wanted. But shortly, we get our formation lap. We'll go around the whole circuit, get back towards turn 1, and we go racing for 40 minutes. And remember, Biggles, yet again, we had that pit stop, and we've known from the first 2 races, it always causes a bit of drama for some drivers, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, pit stops are going to give you an opportunity, obviously, for the over and the undercut there. So, and traffic's going to come into play, no doubt. It's a relatively small track here, and well, at least there's 6 of our LMP3s, and then the GT4 class is going to be more dominant in this one. So, a lot of navigation work for the LMP3s to have to go through. They'll be flying, rolling start, of course, with the pace car. Which I do believe, I mean, I am one for a standing start more than anything. However, I do believe in the world of, well, of course, in this case, don't you? You have to because you have the different classes. But I do believe in the world of sim sports even. It's better to do a rolling start because just the amount of accidents that occur really at the end of the day on standing starts is just crazy. You have too many cars out, too many damages in the first lap.
Yeah,
just not
worth
it.
Standing the starts always cause an issue, but they're always great to watch. They always cause some type of drama in towards turn 1. But we take a bit more of a conservative route in this series. That rolling start all the way down towards turn 1. I don't think there's many GT or LMP categories that have a standing start because it just doesn't seem to end well at all, does it? Ever.
No. I mean, and the thing is too, obviously in racing sims, you're not risking your life, so drivers are going to gun it. They're going to go gun ho, but you probably would take a little less risk if you're actually inside that machine in real life. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, definitely.
And that's why you get those dive bombs and everybody trying to seize an opportunity into those terms. As Thomas is out there saying, not here, not each other when entering the pit lane, not the best entry here as well too. That's actually something great that you mentioned out there, Thomas, as well too. Is the pit lane entrance is a little tricky.
It's going to cause issues. It's going to. We saw also at Sebring, which is pretty much a straight entry, and people missing their pit boxes. With a difficult entry to the pit lane, I think we're going to see a few more people making mistakes, which all, of course, makes the race more interesting. If you remember back at Sebring, we had a lot of issues up front. I think it was Bash Siltra who was leading. He was a few tenths back from Nick Clibbons, went into the pits, lost about 10 seconds because of an issue with him missing his pit box. But at the end, anyway, that didn't matter because Nick Clibbons crashed on the final lap. But still, it shows that the pits can sometimes cause a lot of issues. I think Kieran Sharp also suffered, along with a couple of other drivers at the front of that GT4 category. But I believe shortly they'll be heading through in towards that final part of the circuit. I'm just going to try and get the track map update. There we are. So they're heading down now into around that the boot to the hill section.
The boot.
There turns 7 and 8. And I believe that my track map is a little bit wrong because it says turn 5 is the outer loop, but it misses out that chicane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the boot.
So I don't know what it is.
It's quite surprising, isn't it? It's called the boot here in Watkins Glen, considering it's called the trunk, generally, isn't it? United States of America, not the boot. We call it the boot, don't we? In the United Kingdom and Australia, that's the back of the car there when you lift it up. Depending on what the car is, of course. So where's the engine? In this case, the engine is in the boot, essentially. But for your average road car, of course, it's in the front. Let's not worry about that. Let's get ready to go racing. So look out for the Aston Martin and Nick. Of course, we'll get back to showing you the race start of the GT4s after the LMP3s get underway. That pace car is going to be peeling into that pit road, tricky entrance pit road. And once again, comes back to the fact, have those drivers actually rehearsed any of their pit stop strategies for this evening or not? That'll be the question.
I would hope they would have done, but we can see now Nick Clemens will be leading them away ahead of Cohen Shabo down towards that first corner, and the green light will go out shortly. We're going to wait for that green light, and it's gone. They're heading now down towards that first corner. You can see Clemens just going to the outside line. That'll be, I think, Pickler looking for a move in towards that first corner to put himself second ahead of Cohen Shabo when he gets that move. So Maurice Pickler now into that top field. They all heading through. Now round in towards turns 2, 3 and 4 onto that back straight, but you can see Kunshabo sitting very closely behind as they head down this small straight in towards the chicane, and we'll see, do we going to move back for P2 from Kunshabo? To the inside he goes as they head down in towards this chicane. Pickler also trying to get a move for the lead, but no one can make a move there, so they all tuck in behind as they head through the chicane back for the GT4 category. Tom Dayton has lost 2 positions on that start, so Kieran Sharp into third. Jack Southfield into second, and actually could be looking for the race lead as I head down in towards that chicane. This is a replay of the GT4 start as I head into the final corner, back down towards turn one. You could see Davison had a really poor start and got demoted 2 positions on that start. So you can see this is Liam Giles there on the right hand side with the orange bumper as they head down towards turn one. Did get a decent run, but couldn't really make much of a move there. As you can see, Hamling on his outside as they head in towards that first corner. You could see there, great move from Kieran Sharp to the outside of Tom Davison to put himself into third as well. So a lot of drama for the GT4s, as we always see at the first part of this race. You can see them all trying to crowd around, trying to make moves where they can. As we're on board now with Volodya trying to make a move for 6th position, which is Tom Davison. He's lost 4 positions on that opening lap. I'm starting to think, has he got damage? Because he's now about to lose a position to P7. There we are. So now that's Tom Davison started second, drops down to P7 as now that's Jack Southfield up to first, started third, now onto the front of the fields. They head through. You can still see Tom Davison going to fight up the inside. Can he make that move done? Yes, he can. Through out of the hill now in towards turn 9. And you can see Tom Davison just covering off that move, but you can see he's struggling a lot, isn't he, Big Alls?
Yeah, absolutely. That coach seems to be tracking cold tyres and a very warm heart. He's about to be on the inside here, taken at the moment by Hamlin. And definitely strong. We're not quite sure if he was got damage. We'll definitely go back and have a look at that. Tom's actually gone off track as well, too. So what's happened here? And they're continuing. We're going to have a 3. We are going to. Definitely. It looks like there's a 3 abreast, perhaps, into turn 1. 2 of them are going to be back to side off that one, risking it for the biscuit for 40-minute races, gentlemen, as it goes really wide off track up there.
Yeah, it's Bobby Moss, and that you can see now Volodya sitting right behind, and also Alpert's right behind him as they head down now in towards this next section. I think this is the first time as well we've seen a BMW take part in the GT4 category, isn't it? We've only seen so far the Porsche, Mercedes and Aston Martin. We'll see what this BMW can do so far. Not looking the strongest, but you can see very strong in that straight line speed as they head down in towards the chicane. You can see Alpert was looking for a move there into chicane, but just couldn't quite make it work, so still stopped in that P10 position. Unfortunately for Matt Smith, he's still a second back, so having a bit of a struggle on these opening laps. But you can see Tom Davison has started to stretch away now from Hamling. He's got himself back into P6. He's got a 1 second gap, and this is battle for second in the LMP3 category. That's Gergely Kunshabo looking for him to get himself ahead of Morris Pickler, who's currently sitting in P2, and now Nick Clibbons, like we saw last time, starting to pull away. On the last lap, last time he ended up ruining his race. Let's hope this time he knows how to take that final lap correctly. We're only 3 minutes in, about 2 laps in to this race, but you've got to be thinking about the end game already, because we know in the LMP3 category, the end game of the race really changed the results of that race, didn't it?
Absolutely, it always, yeah, it does. It's you got to commit to the full 36 minutes or the full 40 minutes overall, and that's a little sitting on the inside there, just showing your cards, my friend. Right now, you are playing the game, and the game, of course, is the Glen.
Yep, down in towards turn 5 to go at the chicane. Do we see maybe we can see possibly 3 wide? You can see Den sitting right behind this. We've got Kunshabo to the inside. They're nearly going to go 3 wide in towards this chicane, but who will take P2? It will be Kunshabo now. Back to where he started in this Grand Prix, and you can see Patrick Den, sitting right behind as they head down now in towards the S loop and the chute, and we'll see if we can get a move for P3 and P4 as well. But you can see Morris get a good move to get himself into P2, now under pressure from being knocked down to P4, which would be quite unfortunate for him considering he had such a great start in towards that first corner. But all that battling into that chicane has given Nick Clemens now a 3-second lead over Gergely Kunshabo, so a very good start for him indeed. You can just see him leading away as they head down in towards the hill. And I believe Nick Clemens has got a different livery this week. He looks a lot different to last time, but battles further down in the GT4 category. We see Bobby Moss looking for a move there on Hamling to pop himself into P7. Hamling's lost a lot of pace. He's 2 seconds back from Tom Davison, who's right on the back of Ryan Walker. So we'll see if we can have a look at that position, because you can see they're less than a 10th abreast of each other as they head down in towards this next section. You can see Tom Davison just sitting behind, 1.6 seconds in between Ryan Walker and Liam Giles, and we'll see as soon as Tom Davison can get a move ahead of Ryan Walker and then try and pose a move on that guy in P4. You can see taking a bit of a wider line, wanted to get that better exit out of tow. Down the boot now before we hit the hill, and we'll see. Can we get a move this time from Tom Davison in the Mercedes, trying to get himself ahead of one of the Aston Martins? We know that the Merc can be quite quick in the straight line speed, and we also know it can be very good when it comes to that curb usage. But at the moment, you can see Tom Davison not keen on using any curbs at all, and still sitting behind in P6, but surely I think very soon we'll be getting himself ahead of Ryan Walker.
Yeah, taking it a little easy at the moment as well. Not had the similar situations also at the business end of this race, because look at that. You also got Mr. Niels Core there, thinking about a similar situation, getting past South there, who's just tapped a wall as well too. You saw out of the exit of the final turn. That's going to give the straight line speed here. Overtaking opportunities into turn one. Will he break the slipstream? No. Remember too, but you just need to get out in that air there. Just once again, it just feels like it's like when you put your hand out of a car window at 100 miles an hour. You know, you can feel the friction, can you? The force of the air, and something's at the moment because Southie's in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, and I've just noticed Josh Millington's been into the pit lane, so I'm not sure what's happened to him, but I think he's now about a lap behind.
He's had a crash, actually. I'll get on that back in a second. Okay. Look at this. Sharp's on the back of this battle for the three-way battle currently at the moment for P1. And we have to remember, Mr. Gills is not too far down the road, so it's not like they're really leaving everybody else. You can see on your track map, still a little bunched up with GT3s, just as indication of the qualifying session when they were separated by thousands of seconds.
Yeah, and you can see Liam's getting in, Ryan's getting in, along with Tom Davison being pulled in right behind him. So we've got pretty much a six-way battle soon for the podium if they can all try and catch up. And Tom Davison now on the back of Brian Walker, nearly tapping the back of the Aston Martin as they head round now, down in towards the toe. We'll see, do we get a move up the inside from Davison? No, he sits back for now. Doesn't want to make that move. Josh would rather get it. It's an easy opportunity down towards that first corner, but you can see nearly pushing the Aston Martin through these corners. You can see he's got a lot more apex speed in that car, and after that poor start he's starting to rectify. He's got whatever issue it was sorted out the way. Now he's looking to push and get himself back to where he finished in the second round, which was a P1. So P1 in the second round, P6 here. That isn't representative, so he wouldn't want to be at least onto that podium. Remember, he did start on that front row of the grid in P2, and you can see Matt Smith, he's dropped down. I think he must have had a bit of an incident as well somewhere in the field, as he's now 5 seconds back from P11, but the fight at the front, it's still Southfield leading ahead of Niels Core, Kieran Sharp in third, and that's Tom Davison being overtaken by one of the LMP3 cars. I'm not quite sure who that is. I think that's Josh Millington, isn't it, Biggles?
Yeah,
Just trying to work his way back through the field and catch up.
He did, and that's just like, that's going to be very difficult, isn't it, when you're fighting once again. You got a car in the middle of that one, completely in the middle. That battle's still resuming, actually. There is a battle, of course, resuming at the moment here between Patrick and there, and both the German nationalities are racing it at the 32 on the 998 machine. Back at that little crash that you mentioned and what happened to Josh, well, here's the very situation. As he
he's on the back of the field.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's in P5. So in towards the chicane he goes, brakes late.
Oh, hits the
and he just he hits that curve too much, and then straight into the wall. Big damage there onto his car. Big shame indeed, considering he got P2 last time out in Fuji, and now he's going to be pretty much finishing P6 here in the Watkins. So big shame, big shame, and that's the issue you have for the standings, isn't it? With this one bad finish can ruin your championship.
On top of it, we're going to keep this eye on the battle here for the very lead here. 1, 2, and 3 currently at the moment for the GT4s. I was going to say GT3s would sound great. 1, 2, 3, but anyway, it's a GT4. Might have the fourth with the other kills in a second. But yeah, that's the difficult challenge that there is of, and we might just have to go up here for a second because there's a switcheroo occurring here at the moment, and it's pitcher going straight through. But yeah, I mean, that's why some of these drivers prefer the GT4s over, obviously, the LMP3s, because you saw how light that LMP3 was, right? One tiny mistake, just hitting that chicane at that speeds, bang, you're off the track. Now, obviously, in GT3 and GT4s, you have a little bit more weight. So you're a little heavier car there. You can afford to hit that chicane, and you get away with a lot more. So it's more survivability, less of a beast to handle, and so forth, even though you don't have the actual overall speed. It's a much of a, that's why each driver likes their own at the end of the day, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, some people like a lot of car will definitely go for the MP3s a lot quicker, and like I said, you can throw it into the corners. It doesn't always respond well, so sometimes it is a bit of a risk just sending the car in and just trying to hope the car makes it through. But I think it was a bad exit there from Jack Southfield. You can see Niels Core catch up as they head down to this back straight and soon, even though Niels doesn't want to make a move, he's going to have to, because he's got Kieran Sharp on the back along with Liam Giles, who's also catching up for this P3 battle. You can see now bump drafting pretty much down to the chicane. Do we see a move for the lead between Niels Core and Jack Southfield down in towards the chicane? And he's not budging. He doesn't want to make that move for the lead, which is surprising. I thought, considering he looks a little bit quicker than Southfield, he'd want to make that move, get himself into P1 and try and stretch away before Kieran Sharp also catches onto the back of that other Aston Martin.
Seems like he's just happy to play psychological warfare games at the moment with Southfield and just sit here and try to push here. Force Southfield into a mistake. You could see that sun's going to start blinding him a little bit here, and Watkins Glen too. as we're in the evening time, and that's going to actually get a little bit more painful depending on how the drivers have their setup. Especially, I've heard before in the past some drivers are driving VR. And that sun is a nightmare. I'm not quite sure how many drivers are actually driving in VR on this one, but that's another experience in its own. But and it depends if your driver's got all your graphics settings set up as well too. Because I'll tell you what, even in the broadcast, it looks blinding. As a handsome says, cool as a cucumber. I'm going to say cool as Kimi Räikkönen, my friend, the Iceman himself, was.
Well, yeah, was. Yeah. Well, he's still present at tracks. I believe his son does racing, so he's still the Iceman. And maybe his son will take that name after him as well.
Still,
if he gets himself maybe into GT cars.
Man of many words to an interview, isn't he? Yeah, absolutely. Let me get 5 words out of Kimi Räikkönen, and good luck on that one. But yeah, here we go. But we do have 5 drivers at least battling it out here currently at the moment, as the LMP3s are kind of settled into a little bit of spacing distance between them. But we all know that's going to change drastically when they do start. And look where they are on the track map. They're going to start approaching this pack. You'll see them in the background. They'll start approaching these GT4s and have to navigate their way through there. That's when you're going to start seeing mistakes made from some of the... That's when you become a multi-class driver. You become a better driver by timing your gaps through there. And this could be an opportunity now for Niels to perhaps think about this. And still doesn't follow him through. Look at that. They're almost like... Yes, you're not watching an AI race at the moment. There's not AI cars driving around the track. That's how accurate they look. I mean, you've seen it in Formula 1 esports, isn't it? They're so close. It almost looks like they're machines driving. But trust me, they're so good at that precision level that it does look like you're watching artificial drivers.
But it just seems Jack Sayfield, he's having a lot of trouble in some of the calls. You can see, especially going through where he did just. He has a massive slot on the rear and has to correct the car. It loses him time. It loses him apex speed. But I think another issue we have, Biggles, with having the top 4 all within 2 or 3 or 4 tenths of each other is when these LMP3s come through, they're going to have to get out of the way. The LMP3s aren't going to mess around. They're going to send it. So we could see these gaps start to break up if the LMP3s kind of get a bit stuck. As you can see, the first one of them is coming through. This is Nick Clemens, the race leader. On the back now, this is Liam Giles, I think, just heading down in towards
he caught some. Look at that. There's an overtake up the road too. He's catching him in the corner here while there's a gang of cars. And they've got to think about, they don't have to, of course, once again, we said in this, but he's got to think about slicing that. It's actually helped him big time, I think, Clemens, to get through that pack, but he's also engaged them in very, very dangerous parts of the track, of course. Now he'll get a breakaway. He'll get the exit speed, boom, in on the turbo. I feel like you're driving past your grandma on a freeway, and bingo. But that actually brings everybody else into play, doesn't it? And especially for this class, because look at this. Oh, actually, look at that. And that's, Kongzalbo that just gained huge time on the traffic there. That's what I told you, how quickly it could change in multi-class racing.
Well, Clemens had to lift off heavily going towards that final part of that last lap because it was all Bastly ahead. And then we can see a little bit further down, Bobby Moss making himself position into P7, still fighting side by side with one of the LMP3s sitting right behind, having to back out completely through there. And that is not going to end well. And you could just see that LMP3 car just going to the outside. Makes himself past, and the 2 GT4s can carry on having their nice little battle with their LMP3 sitting right there.
Oh, and look at that, because they had a battle. Look at that. He's in the background. They're climbing at them drastically. Yeah, Vodia is going to take advantage of that situation, and why not?
The speed carrying through. Looks like an LMP3.
Yeah, I know. The way he's drastically... And then remember, you've also got another LMP3 just approaching them in the background at the moment too. This is where it becomes very, very dangerous, of course, once the others, like LMP3 is going to be trying to zoom over. He can't get through here at the moment. He's going through a very tricky navigation into the heel, into the boot, and the toe.
Yeah.
And that's bold and brave. Go up the inside there, my friend. You're very, very lucky. You're trusting in those drivers to stick to the... I always say that sometimes. It just...
Look what he's done.
Frightens me if I was a race engineer.
Kieran Sharp's now a second back from the top 2. That's the issue it's caused. Niels Core now is the leader in the GT4 category. So either they got hold up by that one of the LMP3 cars, or maybe there was a bit of a mistake and a bit of an incident. This is a replay coming down in towards that first one, I believe. Yet again, you can see it's Niels Core on the outside as they head down towards turn 1. Sayfield on the inside. Kieran Sharp sitting right behind as they come through the chicane. We'll see what happened here. I think this is just a replay of them coming through. I don't think much happened at all in this section of the circuit. And no, not much happened there, but you can see Josh Millington back into the pit lane for the LMP3. And let's see what happened.
He's not liking this
Down
one.
to
He's all by
turn one.
himself.
No, it's not. It's down to the chicane, I think. Yes, it is back down to that chicane. And
Is it
the
again?
same again. The exact same manoeuvre
Yeah.
into that chicane. This time not bounced off the walls like it did before.
Oh, no.
So it had a little bit less speed through.
We've had a drama here from P2. Yep, this has got to be a come together here for sure. Are we seeing another act as he hit the bump? He has.
Oh!
There it is. It's happened exactly the same. It's like the pothole that's come loose in Baku in Formula One back in the day, isn't it? And it's forcing the drivers off the track. So just like that, bingo.
Nils going off the track
Some
as well,
big
heading
names.
down, been overtaken. Yeah, but big shame indeed for Kun Shabo. He did it last time, didn't he? Back at Sebring, he was running second, and into turn one made a mistake there. He's done the same again here, lost the rear down that chicane. He's now going to drop down to P5. Probably has to go into the pits to fix that damage.
Oh, look at it.
So that is probably Kun Shabo's race all done and dusted. You consider the GT4's nearly actually making a move on that LMP3 down towards his next section. So I feel for the Hungarian driver, big shame, but with these LMP3 cars, we know now that they're not easy to drive. Every driver, I think, in this class has made a big mistake in these past 3 races.
Yep, well, they're obviously relatively new to iRacing as well too, so getting an adjustment on them is what it's all about. I mean, they're fun, they're fast. It's like anything, but you know, and you know, I know for a fact, and you know for a fact, well, as well. I mean that the W4, the W13s, it's just W12s were so difficult to drive. Not many people even touch them, even though Formula One, of course, cars are the fastest you're going to find in the field. But yeah, you can't barely even find a league really on the planet in iRacing that can fulfill grid of the W12s and 13s because it's just too difficult. Just difficult. So we've got 2 drivers in the pit road. What's happening here?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that it's Ryan Walker, isn't it? Defending from Tom Davison again. I thought for a second it was Nils Cole, but it's not. They just got a very similar livery. So Tom Davison looking to get himself a move into P5. Very close back as they head down in towards the chicane. Do we see a move for that 5th position? Tom Davison to the inside line, and no, not keen on making a move. And this is for P5, not for the lead. So it just seems no one wants to make a move anywhere unless they can get a really good exit. But you can see Tom Davison's clearly got more pace than Ryan Walker in 5th, and they nearly make contact through this next section down out to the outer loop. And yeah, it's like what we saw every round so far. No one's keen to make moves. I got a race in the GT3 category on ACC soon, and I know for a fact if I'm that close behind, I'm definitely going for a move. But this is Nils Core to the outside of Southfield. This is, I believe, earlier on where he got that race lead down towards the chicane, and he got a nice move around the outside, and that's the first time I think we've seen someone willingly making a move for a position, and it's for the lead. So Jack Southfield's still sitting right closely behind with Kieran Sharp in 3rd. Liam George, you can see he's slowly dropped back. He's got a 1.4 second gap now to that top 3. And that was Nils Core going very wide out of there, compared at least to Jack Southfield through that next section. That could also be down due to setup and how willingly a driver wants to go wide over that curb and over that that suboptimal part of the circuit. And Kieran Sharp still sitting behind in 3rd. And still, I think the most consistent driver of this championship, the only one who can look to take 3 podiums in a row. Yes, he took that drop result, but he still got that P3 on track in Sebring. So, looking for a P3, P2, P3, I'd say he's probably my driver of the season at this rate.
You might be right. I mean, I'll be saying, get on there, son. This isn't a tea party. Let's go racing. Come on. And then they are absolutely doing it. Niels Cole's got the lead there. Southfield wants it back, of course. And we're going to think about this pit stop strategy can come into play. None of every drivers at the moment that have made pit stops are because they literally had made an error. So they've elected to go in there and just see what they can come back with and get it done with, gentlemen. Continue for the rest of the race if you can. I don't like retirements. I'm not a fan of retirements. Even if a driver says, you know what, I'm last, I can't even get anywhere. Well, you were committed to 40 minutes of this race anyway, right? Regardless if you're P1 or if you're last. So why not put the practice session in your race conditions? You're in, other drivers around you. It's practice. Practice makes perfect, even if you cannot win. Just get it done.
Yeah.
As I said, what else were you planning on doing at this time? Because I guarantee you, if you're in P1 right now, you wouldn't pull and retire.
Oh, definitely not, no. And if you did, then that'd be a big mistake. But also, we've got confirmation now that Josh Millington is out of the race, saying the word retire, reminding me to look at the fact it says out next to Josh Millington's name. So last race's podium sit-up is now out of the Grand Prix. Grand Prix? It's not really a Grand Prix, it's an endurance race. There we are. 20 minutes in. And, Nels Core yet again. Taking a bit of a different line. You can see Jack Staple went for a move around the outside. That's a back out there. Couldn't quite make it work. And Kieran Sharp, he's looking for an opportunity. 2/10 back as they head down now in towards this next section, down to the final couple of corners of this racetrack. And we're now over that half point of the race. We get to that 21 minutes. By 30 minutes in, we should see pretty much everyone in the pits. So if you see someone pit in the next couple of laps, don't be surprised. It's most likely going to happen because obviously they only have about, I think it's 44% fuel in the GT4s and 49% fuel in the GT in the LMP3s. It's either that or the other way around. And as I say that, Bobby Moss into the pits. Biggles? Oh, we've lost audio. Hopefully you can get back to us shortly. But back to the lead. So Southfield sitting right behind Core as they head down towards this next chicane. Yet again, for probably like the 15th time in this race. I can't really remember what lap we're on in this race. Kieran Sharp still sitting 3 or 4 cents back as they head down out of that chicane, down towards this next part of the circuit. Liam Giles a second back, Ryan Walker a second back from him. Then sitting right behind them is Tom Davidson in P6, hungry for that P5, but really hasn't tried to use any opportunities to put himself into that 5th position. You can see now Liam Giles breaking that 1 second gap to the top 3, so he's also now on the hunt for a podium in the Mercedes. It's a Porsche followed by 2 Aston Martins at the top of the field, and yeah, just no moves being made. And I've noticed as well, because of that issue for Kunshabo and what happened with Pickler and Den battling behind, it's now given Nick Tibbins a 13-second gap to 2nd place. It's 6 seconds then back to Den, another 5 seconds back to Martin, and then obviously Kunshab will still stay in the race because the P5 will still get you about 30 points. He's 50 seconds back off the train, so he's not going to really be making anything happen in this race. His main aim is just to finish the race in that P5 position and try not to make an issue down in that chicane.
Yeah, we're very sorry about the apologies and the issues there for a second technically, but you still have the top 3 going for it too for now, as you mentioned. And the LMP3s are a little just quiet up there at the moment. You can see that on the track map because they're starting to slice their way through the field, but they're all yet to make pit stops. Apart from our Hungarian driver that is actually still in the race. Yes, he is. He's 50 seconds to change down the road. You know what? I love the commitment. Never know what's going to happen. He's made that pit stop, made that repair. And anything else can happen. And what's happened to Walker? He's gone in.
Yep, he's going to go for his new fuel. He was sitting in P5 just behind David, just ahead of Davidson, sorry, just behind Liam Giles. He's thought, right, it's time to get ourselves onto some new fuel. So he'll head back into that, get himself nice and fueled up and head back out onto circuit. Everyone else as well needs to make that pit stop. We know the undercut can work, so we'll see what happens for him as we have a little battle. This is Kieran Sharp still on the back of the top 2, and they're not really making moves. And the good thing this is for Ryan Walker is now he's going to be a little bit quicker on this new fuel and all that. So he's going to be quicker than the top 3 because they're all having to lift off from each other. So yeah, I think at the moment Ryan Walker's in a decent position. Could try and have a position away from Liam Giles in the top 3. Davidson as well. You'd think he's 1.7 seconds back. You'd think he'd maybe go for a bit of an early pit stop, just try and get that undercut on those ahead. And then we've also got Patrick Den. He's the first of the LMP3, so make a pit stop for fuel. And no, it's not for damage.
And that's great. Let's see how it's going to pan out for him. Because sometimes you just think, hey, you know what? I'm not getting anything. I perhaps could be quicker. I perhaps could be a lot quicker than what I am. These drivers at the moment will have to deal with the traffic at the moment, which will luckily encounter them before the corner. And yes, exactly. And I think sometimes that's where you come up to a great spotter or engineer if you are lucky to have somebody out there to look out for you and crunch those numbers and just go, you've got so much more pace. You just this traffic's not helping you. In fact, if anything, it's probably risking the fact that you're going to make more mistakes. Get out there, put some banker laps in, get clear air, get on with it. Michael Schumacher was famous back in the day for doing that, wasn't he? He would get the pit stops done a little bit out of schedule with everybody else there, come out there and put flying laps, and that's a sign of true champions.
Yep, Liam Giles into the pits. He'll be the second driver of the GT4s to get himself onto some new fuel for his pit stop. And you can see a couple more, Hamling and Volodya following them into the pits as well to make their first and probably only pit stops. We'll see shortly where Ryan Walker comes out in all of this kerfuffle. And that is also one of that's Nick Tibbins. You can see just at the corner of our screens heading in towards that pit lane. Ryan Walker's currently heading down now in towards turn 10. And we'll see, can he get himself back ahead of Liam Giles? So they come through. And you can see Liam Giles, you can't really see him, but you can see the air roof where he is. He's somewhere there under those canopies.
Here comes Walker.
Yep, heading down towards turn 1. We'll see if he can get himself ahead. This will be close in towards that first
It
corner.
will.
A bit more
There it
speed
is.
carried.
Oh,
And I think it will
it's
be.
Walker. Yeah, Walker's got him.
Yep, got himself back. Now, this
And
is ahead of
goals.
Liam Giles. He wasn't before, was he? So, very good job indeed.
Yeah. Oh,
Actually,
and the
no,
leaders
he's
have
not.
gone in.
He's come out behind.
And the leaders,
no,
race
sorry.
leaders, have gone in.
Walker came out behind. I wasn't looking properly. He's 9/10 back.
So how's this going to pan out for the rest of the drivers? Sorry, is with all the action there? I mean, come on, we have to talk to the drivers. Please choreograph your pit stops separately for the cameras. Come on.
So Gibbons picked that. Martin as well. He's sitting third. Then we've got Patrick Den as well. He's into the pit lane. Is he coming to the pits again? Because Martin's now into third. I believe Martin was behind Den at one point. So Patrick Den into the pits. Conchabo, he's going to come through. Get P4, so back into that top 4 there for Kunshabo. And on board with Kieran Sharp, still trying to get himself ahead of Court and Saffield. Those 3 haven't pitted along with Tom Davidson. Those behind have, likes of Liam Giles, Ryan Walker, Hamling, Volodya, Mars, and Albert.
They all went in.
Oh,
Kieran, make it stop in time there. You can go side by side. Don't slam, and this is going to be interesting. Now, Kieran's gone into the inside here. Now, I've always learnt from some of the drivers before in iRacing, just you should actually be turning into your pit box at the last minute, not kind of do it like this. They're going to get a lollipop, people. We're not going to see it on our screens, but there it is. Oh, that's a good stop there from Kieran, you see. And the other drivers stopped it on time there. You can see didn't have to back up or anything like that. So we'll see this little pit lane race out at the moment. You can see there's 4 cars that have all gone in here. The 4 leaders of the GT4 class, and who comes out first?
Sharp's ahead.
Yep, Sharp does it. He now whatever he's decided to do, it's worked brilliantly for him. Look at that.
You can see the guys in P5 and 6. We'll see what happens then, but I don't think they'll be able to get themselves through. So Kieran Sharp now, he finished 3rd in round 1, 2nd in round 2. Maybe it's victory here in round 3 for Kieran Sharp, which would be something he'd be very, very happy with. Indeed, Nils Cole come out in 2nd. Jack Saffield comes out down in 3rd. Tom Davidson sitting still in that 4th position, ahead of Liam Giles. Ryan Walker, actually, no, Davidson's made that move, hasn't he? He's got himself ahead of Walker and Giles. So Davidson, 6th to 4th under that pit stop. It seems that the overcut works a little bit better for these guys in the top 4. Giles gaining, so is Ryan Walker. Then we've got Hamlin. He's still 6 seconds back, so he's not going to get involved with anything for the top 5, but he will get involved for that top 7. You can see Stu in the chat says, go on, Sharpie. Indeed, we're all rooting for Sharpie now to get himself onto that victory spot, which he definitely deserves. And Jack Saffield going around the outside nearly at this next section down at the chute, trying to get himself through on to Niels Court. He's going to go around the outside again. Can he make that move sticky or keep it round the outside? That long right hander. Very close to contact. They go back side by side. Down now, the boat in towards here. Who will be 2nd? Who will be 3rd as they head down? I think that Saffield has just got that covered though. But it will be Niels Court up the inside in towards this corner.
Gotta commit.
Saffield,
oh, there's contact.
There's a contact there through. And that has sent Southfield wide. It's lost course and time as well. And Kieran Sharp is loving that behind. The more battle he was, the better. He can try and stretch that lead out to now nearly over
and
a second.
And not Clemens as well, too, isn't it? Our race leader, even though he's got a ton of time up his sleeve, he's backed off at the moment for the LMP3 because he did not want to get involved in that one. Very, very clever. That's the reason why you're lucky to have a little bit of a breather space, aren't you? Because I guarantee if he was only leading by half a second or a second, that would have probably compromised the race win, Pat, for Nick Clemens. But he's okay. He'll scoot on by there. And Kieran Sharp's probably got a little of a smile on his face at the moment. But Kieran has got to stick to his racing line here. Don't go too wide. Look at that. Look at see the exit. You can see the traction, can't you, from LMP3. He just glues to the road on that one.
Yeah, it's lost about 4 tenths there through that corner, through that section. Unfortunately, so it's put Niels Cole right on his back. And also Dave says in the chat, wonder if Jack is carrying slight damage after tapping the wall. Yeah, he did right at the start of the race, didn't he? Tapped that wall on the exit. The final corner could definitely be carrying a little bit of damage. And well, maybe that's the excuse he'll give if he don't get himself into 2nd or 1st. But we'll see what happens. He could still try and take that victory ahead of the Aston Martin and the Porsche of Kieran Sharp. As we go on board with Southall now, just heading through, obviously in that very nice TSRC livery. Very basic livery, but I think it's very, very nice. I love the black on it, a very nice shade of black. It's not a basic black, is it?
Oh, it's not a Vanta black. That'd be even better, isn't it? You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
The carbon fiber Vanta black. Yeah, it almost kind of looks like that, but it has a little bit of a shine. It's like a matte black, but yes. Oh, but further up the field there is Nick Cole on the back there of our race leader. So he wants it back. And he wants it back of a rampage. It's up to Kieran now. Kieran, hold on to 9 minutes and change to take his first victory of the season. And the boss man himself.
Yep. Well, Nils Core missed out on victory back in round 1 at Sebring, and Kieran Sharp missed out on victory last time out in Fuji. So they're both looking for that first victory. So this battle could get quite hasty between these two. We've got about 9 minutes left to go in this race, which yet again, Pickles, every race we've had, they go so quickly because there's battling every lap, especially these GT4s. So you kind of, it just kind of get carried away. The race kind of just happens, and you're like, oh, we're half an hour in.
Yeah. It has been like that. The GT4s have really lit it up there. That is your second place. Is that picture? Yes, it is, Pitchler. That's the second place GT3. That creates you so much of a distance there. The gap there is, isn't it? You can see on your track map at the moment there. There's your P1, already entering another sector, as you can see. So Pitchler just has to settle out the P2 at the moment. That's going to be pretty much easy peasy. As long as nobody makes a mistake. But look at this over Keren's wing. He's under massive pressure here, and he knows he has to hold off here. But just a handful of laps there to take his first victory. And one person's going to try to deny that, of course. It will be the German. And it will be Mr. Core. And they are going to be side by side.
In towards the chicane. Can he make the move? He does make the move very easily, very easily there from Nils Core. And now Kieran Sharp under pressure from Southfield, and that's the issue that Kieran's got. He needs to keep himself calm and collected in this situation. He hasn't led the race yet before this season, so it's a bit different for him than normal. Southfield and Core have both led races in the past, and now it's the inside line for Southfield in the Aston Martin on the Porsche, and Kieran is going to try and hang it round the outside as they head down, and that's Kieran off the track and hits the wall. Big shame there for Kieran Sharp. Bit of contact there with Jack Safel. We'll see if that goes to the stewards afterwards, but it's now putting him under pressure from Tom Davidson. I was saying at one point he could take victory. I think I've cursed him a lot. The commentators cursed back out, and he's there under pressure from the guy in P4, Bobby Moss, looking for him to put himself into P8 ahead of Alodia. And you can see a bit of a Sen had to back out then. I'm going to say I love Bobby Moss's livery. It's just loads of little logos just plastered onto that Aston Martin.
Yeah, it's just like you got you. I mean, no offense, of course, to Bobby, but it's just like you got your kid out there, though, isn't it? Like you got some of your sister or your little brother or say, "Make a livery for me." Maybe he did. Who knows? But it's certainly exciting. And Levy's got, of course, got the British flag on there, doesn't he? England. Come on, England. He's saying. Well, guess what? If you want an England domination, you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in class. But the German is doing it. The German's in the lead. So,
yep. The Germans did a great job. Obviously, we got Pickler, we got, I believe it's Den, Core. A lot of German drivers racing here in this league, which is always great to see. It's always great to see more drivers than just the English. It seems that the English population tends to dominate sim racing, but it is nice to see people from different parts of the world all taking part in this series. I think we got drivers from Hungary, Estonia, drivers from all over different parts of Europe. We've also got a couple of American drivers. Obviously, Ethan O'Ring, not here today, took pole back in round 2. He was from the United States of America. It would be nice to see him here in his home race, but unfortunately he's not here today. And well, if he was turning up, he's a little bit too late. He's about 40 minutes late. So, yeah, no Ethan O'Ring today, but hopefully he can make a return back in round 4. To believe it's the Nürburgring, the track where I'm racing at tomorrow. So I'll be a lot more clued up when we come back next week for the Nürburgring, because I believe that was actually someone going off track, wasn't it, there in our screens?
Yeah,
I believe
Kieran
there.
Unfortunately did. And that's going to put him on a bit of pressure. Look at that. Well, this was the moment before, actually, my apologies. That was where teammates.
Wow.
Teammates, guys. Teammates. But what else has happened here?
Kieran Sharp's dropped down to P6.
Yeah,
he's had another issue.
He has had another issue, I believe. Yes, he has gone off track
damage. He must have damage, wasn't he? He's losing so much time to Hamling. Oh, he spun the car! Oh, what a shame for Kieran Sharp and what it could have been, what it should have been. But unfortunately will not be. He's not going to be finishing anywhere near the podium. He's currently going to be fighting for P7 from Hamling, and just lost the rear. And I think he suffered a bit of damage from that incident with Southfield.
I'd say so.
He slightly hit that wall, didn't he? Yeah, big shame.
Smith has also had a moment back here. And,
let's have a look at this in that beautiful Mercedes livery. I believe it's the F1 safety car, isn't it?
It is the F1 safety car. It's going to be. Well, you're going to need some safety right now, my friend. Bang into the fence.
Well, let's hope Mylanda don't repeat that at the next Grand Prix, because that wouldn't be a very a good sight indeed. Just Hamling, you can see up the inside of Kieran Sharp. He's got a lot of damage on that Porsche. To the inside, into P6 he goes.
Oh, after big Kieran shame Sharp though. He's coming back actually as well too. He's not giving up. Not giving up there.
The inside. Oh, a bit of net code there, I believe, from those two. Round the outside for Kieran Sharp. Can he make it work? No, has to tuck back into the inside as they go down into this next section of circuit, down this back straight in towards that chicane at the inner loop. Do we see an overtake? No, we don't. We see Bobby Moss, so right to the back of Sharp. Yeah. He's going to make a move in towards that chicane to the inside for the Aston Martin. Bobby Moss into P7 there. Will be looking to take his best result so far in this series, but actually Kieran Sharp going to try and fire back around the outside, but he's got Volodya right behind as well, as they all head down now into this next shooting at the outer loop before they head down towards the chute. And do we see a move from the Aston Martin of Volodya? He does up the inside of Kieran Sharp, so he's just trying his best, but just can do absolutely nothing. And actually he goes for a send back on to Volodya, but he's just got no straight line speed. He's damaged the rear of that car, and unfortunately I think it's all over here for Kieran Sharp, and I think he would have liked to take this round as his drop result, not his first round back in Sebring.
It's a wounded beast at this point, isn't it? He's got to tame the wounded beast. Sorry.
Good Shebo right on the back of Martin for P3.
Oh, yes, you're correct, actually, to set the fastest lap. So this is why you never give up. You never give up, because these points are crucial in this championship at the moment too. You know, even if it's just one place, to take P3 is a P3. It's a podium. And he's had to work harder, hasn't it? The early pit stop after the early incident into the fence, and the second driver, of course, in the LMP3s that hit that chicane and lifted the car up, nowhere to go, fence, and he's like, okay, I've got time, I've got 3 minutes and change. Let's see if I get myself some of the bubbly stuff on the podium.
I'm just having a look at the chat there between Stu and Dave and about how Jack's getting the sack after that incident with Kieran. Yeah, I don't think Kieran's going to be that mean, but he'll be annoyed. And we've got sack Southfield, sack Jonesfield. So a bit of experience through there to Jack. He's still sitting in second, and now Kunshabo, he's in the LMP3 category looking for a podium. Around the outside of the Martin. Wow. Nothing Thomas could do there to defend that position, and Kunshabo all day long had that move done. Down towards, I believe this is in towards turn 8 at the hill they go. And now Kunshabo, the question is, he's got 2 minutes to go. I thought there was more time. I was going to say, can he get P3? But then I realised, no, there's 2 minutes left in this race. He's not going to gain 5 seconds a lap, and if he does, then bravo. Bro, I can't see that happening at this point, unless, like we did last time, we have the last lap. Yeah. Last lap crash, because last time it was 18 seconds lead for Cleveland. It's 17.8 seconds lead. It's very close to what happened in Sebring.
And yeah, because his fastest lap was a 39.2, a 40, almost a 41.2. So it did take a couple of seconds a lap before, but out of the top two at the moment, they have such a gap, they're going to back off. And I'd probably suggest backing off, because you've seen the previous races, as you'd mentioned. You don't want to crash out on the last lap by pushing it too hard. There's no point. No,
but to be fair, for Kunshabo to come out with the crash, to be back P5, be 50 seconds back off the field, to put himself back into P3, absolutely great recovery drive indeed from the Hungarian driver. But back on with the Englishman, Bobby Moss. He's looking to get himself into P6 ahead of Hamlin. I believe Moss's best finish was around P8, P9. He's now going to be looking to put himself into P6, so it'll be very good for him indeed in this race. And for many drivers, they'll be loving this race. Nils Core looking to take his first victory. Tom Davidson, Jack Southfield looking to take another podium in this series. As you can see, Southfield right on the back of Core.
P1, my friend. He's pushing like crazy. He has been slowly gathering the pace here and getting it done. So let's see. He's got the dying stages to get it done, because where is our race leader? Here's Clemens. He's going to cross the line in time.
Is Barney going to be there? I don't think he will be, will he? Yep. He is there, yeah.
Yep, it's going to be one more.
White flag, last lap of this race. Clemens in towards turn 1. He's got an 80-second lead. We'll look at this battle for P1 and 2 in the GT4 class between Core and Southfield. Nils Core and Jack Southfield, of course, battling for that victory. So they head through now in towards, this will be down at turn 6, braking late to the inside. A long left they have indeed. And Southfield, you can see, carrying a little bit more pace through that corner on the exit. Got a great run on the exit there. Now down towards toe, and then they'll go down the boot. You can see gaining a lot in that braking zone indeed. The gap 0.2 of a second. These two were battling out at round 1 and Sebring. It was 1-2 finish for them this time. And it's going to be 1-2, I think, here. And it could be the different way around here at Watkins Glen. So they head down now in towards the hill. And you can see that. I think it was a bit of a dummy move, wasn't it, from Southfield?
Was he going to get it done? That's the thing. Where is he going to get it done? Because I would say turn 1 if he gets a great exit out of the final turn. Because they will get another lap for these drivers. Race leaders now just around the road. So, okay.
I was going to say also that chicane, you could make a move there, because you get a great running towards that chicane, and no one made a move last time. So possibly we could see So still make a move there, but they come through at the final corner, back down towards someone. This is the final lap for the GT4 category. Now, do we see moving towards this first corner? Southfield about 1.5 tenths of a second back into the braking zone. No, sits back for now. Wants to make that move down that back straight in towards the inner loop at the chicane, but you can see they're both running a bit wide there on purpose, of course. And Nick Clemens, he's heading through the final corner, so we'll see him come to the checkered flag to take victory for the first time here in the TSRC Sports Car Challenge. It ended in Sebring with the DNF. It ends here in Watkins game with a victory, but now Southfield down the back straight, tries to make the move for the victory to the outside of Neil's Core. They go side by side, the two Aston Martins, who will be ahead in towards the chicane. You can see it with the outside manoeuvre for Southfield. He's going to look for a switchback on the corner if he can get it done, and they go through a 10th back as they head out the exit. And I don't think, no, Southfield didn't just have enough pace through that chicane to keep with Core, so they head down there in towards the chute. Do we see a possible move to the inside from Southfield? I don't think we will. He's still going to try and keep with him if he can, as they head down in towards us. It's a long left, then back down this little mini straight before they hit the uphill at the right at turn 7. And I don't think we'll see a move here at all either from Southfield, so he's going to have to get it done down in towards turn 8 at the heel. So they come out, down the boot, now they go. This is probably the final opportunity for Southfield to make an opportunity, but I don't think he's going to make that. I don't think he's going to make that move, is he, Biggles?
No, I don't think now. This is going to be a late dive, if anything. And Mr. Neil's Calls is going to have to hold on, isn't he? Look at that. He did make a little bit wide there. He's gone defensive. He's only got basic inside. It is a dive! And that could be very much enough. They're going to go side by side. You're going to swing it over to your right. So, stage left, sorry. For the final couple of corners. And then you're going to go over to your right. Who's going to have the advantage here? Neil should still have the advantage. He should still have it because it's the final corner. Round there. Will he get it done?
Oh, Toulon, they go side by side. This will be very close. Side by side, Toulon. Who will get that P1? It will be Neil's Core by 32 thousandths of a second. He takes victory here in the GT4 category ahead of Jack Southfield, who fought for that on that final lap of the race. Tom Davison comes home in third, had a very poor start, down to P7 at one point. He's got himself back onto the podium ahead of Liam Giles, Ryan Walker in the top 5. Then we've got Hamling, Bobby Moss, who also just missed out on that P6 spot. Then we've got Volodya P7, and unfortunately P8, sorry. Then we got, unfortunately, Kieran Sharp down into P9. Big shame for him. Then got Alpert, so we didn't see him at all really that race. He finished down in P10.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you never get to see the drivers, do you? Because the cameras aren't switched onto them. But there it is. There's your race results for the LMP3s, which is pretty much a straightforward run for Nick, wasn't it?
Yeah, easy. Literally, you can just say it was easy. There's no ego involved at all there. It was just an easy job from Nick Clemens to take P1. Ahead of Pickler, who's there for his second podium. He sits P2. Then Gurgly Kunshabo had the incident down the chicane. Went from second all the way down to fifth. Was about 40 seconds back. Got himself back up to third and only 25 seconds off the race. So what that could have been for Kunsabo if he didn't make that mistake, we will never know. Thomas Martin P4, Patrick Den P5th, and obviously Josh Millington did retire from that race. Down in P6 then for the GT4s. We already talked about them. We'll go through them again. Nils Core takes victory, 30 thousandths ahead of Jack Southfield. Then we have Tom Davidson third, Liam Giles fourth, Brian Walker in the top 5 ahead of Gilliam Hamling, Bobby Moss. I'm not going to place that first name, but Volodya in P8. Sorry about that. Kieran Sharp P9, Cohen Alpert's in P10, and Matt Smith also, I believe, retired from that race. He would have finished P11 if he didn't. But there we are, yet again, because another action-packed race. We're over that halfway point now this season. We've got round 4 to go at the Nürburgring next week. Then we're at Road America round 5 the week after. And then Red Bull Ring going to finish it off. And we've seen F1, what the Red Bull Ring can produce. We've seen in the GT3s what the Red Bull Ring can produce. I'm excited for that final round here, and I think they've purposely left the best race till last.
Yeah, and that Red Bull Ring, obviously a relatively short track there, what with 12 13 corners off the top of my head, isn't it? It's only 10, only 2 to your left and 8 to your right. So it's going to be it's
an interesting one.
So much fun, isn't it? It really is. And considering how bunched up they were, and look at that photo finish again, really here, it's amazing. So obviously let's hope that both the action continues with both the LMP3s and then of course the GT4s as well. It would be fun. But once again, big hats off, of course, to Kunshabo that you said for the fight back. This is the very reason why the rest at the top of the show, isn't it? Like, you just race because you never know what's going to happen. I didn't think anybody would have said he was going to be on a podium.
No, I didn't. I thought he was out. I thought he was going to retire, but no, he kept it and got third. So Final words from me before we go. Obviously, remember that this stream is available on the JP Broadcasting channel, of course, as usual. So you can watch this race back if you'd like to have a little bit of a rewatch and watch some of the action that you might have missed out. And also, thank you in the chat to Stu, Dave, and Thomas who've been in the chat the whole race, egging on Mr. Kieran Sharp to win. Unfortunately, didn't work today, but he tried. Indeed, so thank you to you guys in the chat as usual. And we'll be back next week for round 4 at the Nürburgring in Germany. And it is all from me and Biggles. So, yet again, everyone, for the third round, it is good night.